What's up, everybody? This is Chopperholic, Chopperholic. Yeah, definitely took a break from YouTube. That was not intended. So just want to say I appreciate the subs. I've got some subs. That's awesome. So, and I apologize I haven't given you any content to be sub to. I'm going to try to, I'm starting today, so I'm going to make a video. So I've made a couple different topics in my videos. You got music reviews. I did a gig economy, more Instacart video. I believe that's essentially it, and then some music related. So today I'm going to talk about Instacart, how recently they came out with an article, not they, but Vox, I believe, some publication. There's this new organization called Working Washington that's working with a lot of gig workers, trying to help them so our pay is fair. As a lot of people know, Instacart was caught basically red-handed earlier this year, supplementing their pay directly with customer tips, which means if a customer tipped, I'll start it this way: if a customer didn't tip, Instacart would say would pay $10 or $12. Okay, if the customer tipped, the shopper would still make $10 or $12, but that tip would go into the total pay, not on top of it, into. It was absolutely horrible, and I'm so glad that people actually saw it, because they've had issues in the past. I don't want to stray off topic, but they were a little more, I guess it was more sly. They didn't get caught as easily. This was just egregious. I mean, the best proof I saw was a batch that was a driver, they were paid 80 cents, and guess what happened? The customer, I guess, tipped beforehand or something. They had a $10 tip, so the guy made $10.80. But then, I don't know why, but the customer removed the tip. That guy was paid 80 cents for that job. And I mean, that amount of money, that doesn't even matter if it's one bottle of milk, and of course a larger order, which they usually, that was just so bad and terrible. Like, Instacart is just, they're a joke. Like, they're just a joke at this point. Anyway, tangent. So back to it. So they basically found out in this article that Instacart workers make like $7.78 an order. That's like minimum wage. I believe that included tips. I can't remember that, but that's basically minimum wage for a job that, in my opinion, is definitely more work than minimum wage jobs. Say like, McDonald's, if you're a line cook at McDonald's, that's minimum wage, I think, or even a cashier. I mean, except they don't have to deal with expenses. They don't have to, Instacart and other gig jobs, you have to do so much more. You have to handle all the environmental factors, and you have to deal with all of it without complaining to the customers. They don't want to know. They don't want to hear it, of course. They're your customer. They just want their groceries. They want the service. They want 5-star service. They want prompt communication. They want the correct items. All these things that, believe it or not, are, they're not like rocket science, but they do take some effort. I mean, I've always compared it to like servers in restaurants. Servers in restaurants in the US, it's extremely common knowledge to people who live in this country that tipping is just a part of, it's how it is. Like, you tip 15, 25%. I'm not gonna say an exact number because that's been like changed a lot, I'd say, in the last couple decades, but tipping in general is just seen as this part of the culture here at all sit-down restaurants. I think gig economy workers are a lot like that, at least in terms of what they do, because they do a better job, you can get a better tip, whatnot. So it's just, it's ridiculous that they're paid minimum, or Instacart workers are making that much money. And Working Washington, the company organization who organized the whole, they sent out calculators to a bunch of shoppers across the country. It was a random set, but it was quite a bit. I mean, for a newer organization, I think it was over 1,000 different shoppers. It's quite a bit. So and that number makes sense to me, because I mean, of all the expenses, you got fuel, you got tolls. I mean, I live in Miami, and the tolls here are crazy. They're all over the place. It just adds up, especially some of the small bridges into like the affluent communities. Oh, forget it. We're talking $2 just pass through. $2 in some of them. It's insane. I mean, if you're making $10 a batch, that just drops it to $8. And then to avoid the toll, that adds how many miles if you want to go back to that same area you're working? That adds what, 8 miles, because it's a round trip? It's like crazy. And so it's so great. I'm very happy to see an organization like Working Washington trying to do so much work and help with gig workers. It really makes me happy. It's progress. It's obviously the beginning. I also want to shout out to Matthew Tellis. He's made a little name for himself I shouldn't say little. He's made a name for himself in sort of the protesting the gig workers. Because I was in the Instacart Facebook group, and for a couple, I don't really go on there anymore because I don't work for him anymore. But he was in there, and then I saw his name was mentioned in some of the big articles. I was just happy to see that. So he's obviously kept his word, and he's really kept it up. It's really awesome to see. But I just wanted to say that I just wanted to highlight that really just shows how much money those workers make, and like it just again I guess highlights that, like I said in my other Instacart video, which I was so happy I made 1,000 views. That's so cool. I'm so happy about that. Is that if you receive your groceries, you receive an order, it was like, quote, a normal experience. They were responsive, and you got your stuff, and it's right, or the substitutes, or at least you're okay with the substitutes. Please, please, please tip the driver. Please, whether they shopped or not, because they're dealing with, the logistics of handling all your groceries and making sure eggs aren't broken and whatnot and all that. And then, of course, if they shop it, they definitely deserve a tip, because shopping is more work. Now I know, and then I also, in the current events with Instacart, what they were doing with the whole tipping fiasco, I'd also may recommend, just tip cash or find another way, like i.e. Venmo or something. If of course, if the shopper and customer, I guess, trust each other, or whatever, or cash, because if they're just snafooing with tips like that in the app, they're definitely not trustworthy anymore. But I guess at a minimum, tip in the app. If you don't want to, I know cash is definitely getting less popular to use, so I get it. But tip in the app at least, please, because it does take a lot of work, and shoppers do their best. The good shoppers do. If they don't, that's another topic. You don't have to. Maybe tip a little, in my opinion. It's like you go to a restaurant, you don't usually tip zero. That's crazy. You tip 10%, or if it's a bad experience, right, or a little less. I would do the same thinking. If it's a bad experience, I'd still tip the driver. A lot of times it's not the driver's fault. If they're out of items, again, the grocery is a big place. It's completely out of the hands of the shopper. They have no control over what's in stock, whatnot. But anyway, I liked that article was written. That really made me happy. $7 and 78 cents. I'm sorry, made me happy that they're getting the word out. And people are starting to realize, whoa, this is crazy. That's how much. Another thing I want to mention. I know this isn't super organized, so I appreciate you if you're making it to this point. Is the fact I read somewhere that tech workers themselves, like the engineers, the coders, the people who work on the app, the apps, the technology, really, the corporate level, you could say. Some of them were actually, when they heard about DoorDash, because DoorDash did something similar, they still do. They're using tips to offset their payment to workers, to drivers. Some of the workers were like, I'm not going to work for you. Are you kidding me? You're paying your workers like that? You take the discount if a customer tips more? That is ridiculous. If a customer tips, that shouldn't change your pay. You either choose to pay low or choose to pay high, but whatever you choose to pay, you pay. That's it. That's just how it should work. It needs to work, period. So it really made me happy. I apologize with the lighting. That's just ridiculous. I'm on the freeway in traffic. Lovely 95 in Miami. I'm trying to adjust it every time I go into a bridge. But yeah, I was happy to see that some tech workers are finally wow, that's crazy. They probably didn't know. Honestly, trying to be fair to them, I don't know if they did. So, if they don't want to work for them, that's great, in my opinion, because these companies, workers like this don't deserve tons of money, okay? I get it. It's working class job, we're not coding, whatever. But, it deserves to be transparent, clearly stated, clearly organized, and just fair. And servers, they know they make a very low minimum wage, which they basically never make because they make their money on tips. It's understood, right? And it's clear. So I'm just glad that that these organizations are coming together, and they're finally getting some organization to gig workers, which traditionally are not organized. We all have to fend for ourselves. We have to organize ourselves. That's why Facebook groups are great, because you can sign to meet people nationally where you never meet them locally. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that, discuss 778 is what was found systematically through math, through calculations, with expenses and all that. Less than $8 an hour is what Instacart workers were making on average. Slightly lower than what Instacart said, right? Yeah, they said 15. Give me a break. It's just ridiculous. So I was really happy, really glad the organization, and I'm sure it's just the beginning. It's just going to get more and more. The more exposure it gets, it's going to snowball, and hopefully changes will happen. Because there's nothing wrong with the actual services that are provided. It's cool. Grocery delivery is cool. I think most people think it's cool. It's not really, that's not the problem. It's the way the companies are implementing the pay structures and the pay models, design, whatever. That's the, they're trying to maximize their profits, and obviously get more money into corporate, for their free snacks, I guess, and their all the benefits they get. I get it, but it's you got to have fair pay for the people who make the whole idea possible. You just have to. There's no way around it. If you don't have that, you don't have a company, you don't have a business, you don't have anything. So if they forget that, they can just kiss their whole idea goodbye. Whatever, a port of a meta, you can kiss it goodbye. So anyway, I wanted to talk about that. Thanks for watching. I'm hopefully going to come out with more content. I'm going to try to do it much more regularly. So I really appreciate, again, everybody who's viewed my videos. I know I'm pretty small on YouTube right now, very small. But yeah, anyone who's watched my videos, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You can, like the video if you want, dislike it, of course, as well. And comment, please leave comments. Or if you want to leave comments about any other videos you'd want me to make or discuss, I'd be happy to. And that goes for music. I specifically like rap and some rock, mainly rap. Electronic music, I love deadmau5, for example. He's amazing. So yeah, music, gig economy are the big ones. And then, I'm also getting into software development, like web development. That's another topic I'll probably make a video on. Anyway, again, thank you for watching. It's UF Trapperholic. Really appreciate it. Hit subscribe if you want. Hit that little bell icon. That would be amazing. You all have a wonderful day. See you later.